Hey guys, over the past couple of days, I've been watching all of the Twilight Saga, and y'all, what did I get myself into? I love these movies now. Um, I absolutely love this franchise. That being said, here are my picks for the 5 movies ranked from the worst to the best. So let's go. In at last place, absolutely no question about it, is going to be Twilight New Moon. This is the one and only movie that doesn't have Edward as a star, and I absolutely hate that. Not even necessarily for the fact that he's not in the movie as much, but they use really bad CGI to try and work him back in. And that, like, if they're going to honor the book and they're going to follow the book, then they need to actually follow the book. Don't show visions of him. Just show, like his voice or something. That kind of irritated me. And then you have when Jacob turns into a werewolf that first time. They have such bad CGI on that. And I don't like CGI anyways. But especially when it's real cheap and it's crappy like that, I cannot stand that. It's where you can tell that it's all CGI. This movie just has miss after miss after miss after miss. It's very slow paced, very boring. It's probably the one that I'll probably skip over whenever I'm watching all these movies again. Then again, I'm not very much a fan of Taylor Lautner, so I'm definitely Team Edward. But, yeah, this movie I feel like was very lazy and just, like, they were just trying to cash in on the book, really, I feel like. And that's another thing that irritates me with movies that are adaptations, is that they try and cash in. So, yeah, last place is going to be Twilight New Moon. In fourth place will be Twilight Eclipse. This one has actually really good CGI. I did enjoy this movie, or at least the first half of it I did. It's a 2-hour movie where the first hour is really, really good, and then the second hour is okay. It's okay. And that's another thing that I don't like especially in drama films that are supposed to be like romance and fantasy, where it gets you hooked in the first half and then just kind of leaves you hanging. That always irritates me. And just the fact that Bella and Jacob even have anything at all, I don't like that either. Because they're supposed to be friends. Like, she doesn't want anything more than friends with him. And he's the one that's pushy and the one that's not taking no for an answer, and just, I don't know, Jacob just annoys me for those first few movies. I did love to have Edward back. I love to have Alice back. That was a big point for this. But it's just way more lazy than the other ones in the series. And that's the thing. I write movies myself and I direct and act. And so when I see lazy filmmaking like that, it just kind of, like, I don't know, it just gets to me. I don't like movies that try and do that and, again, try and cash in on the book. But that's my big point for this movie, and that's why it's at number 3, or at number 4. In third place, we're going to have Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. This one, really, I fell asleep during this one and had to back it up. That's how slow paced it is. And all of these movies are fast paced and they're all really good, but this one's just the most slow paced one out of all of them. Like, they make the first 20 minutes feel like almost an hour already. And that's the thing. I don't I have a very short attention span. So, just for them to drag it out like that, it just messes with my mind and with my ADHD and my anxiety. But things like that, I've never really had a very big, I've never really been a big fan of those kinds of movies or books. That's one of the main reasons I don't really read very much anymore, is because so many books just drag on and on. But I did like after they got back from their honeymoon, I liked the rest of that movie. So this was similar to that Eclipse, but reversed. The first half was slow, the second half was fast paced. And I actually started to like Edward in this. I actually started to like Jacob in this one a little bit more, because he's not trying so hard at it. He's not like pushing or taking no, or he's finally learning to take no for an answer. He's finally imprinting on somebody, and I like that he can finally move on, even if it is with Bella's daughter. Like, it seemed like it would be weird at first, but then, like, the way that they set it up and the way that you see, like, her life in his eyes growing up, I thought they shot that very well. I thought it was beautiful. So that's why it's going to be in third place, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. In second place is going to be Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. This movie almost felt like nothing. Like, it was very, very fast-paced. Like, just everything was just happening all at once. The one complaint I do have is that it doesn't have Alice. So, really, the only complaint I can have against the last Twilight movie is that it just goes based on the book. Because, Alice has always been my favorite character of the entire series. Her and James, if I had to pick one of the evil vampires or whatever they're called, the nomads or whatever, I don't know. So this one, the ending just got me so good. Like, I love that ending so much. And for a new fan to really get into it, I have a hard time getting into franchises. Like, movies have more than about 2 or 3. If they're not horror, I don't normally get into them. And so I was very, very surprised I got into all of these movies. I had just bought the box set on a whim and just decided to watch them all because I spent like $50 on it almost. And so I wasn't going to lose my money on that. And I enjoyed them. I loved them. All of them, really, except for number 2. And I love Bella and Edward so much. Like, their marriage, their relationship, like, that is, like, cinema perfection. I absolutely love their relationship, and their little girl is just the cutest little kid. And, yeah, I do have a slight problem with the ending. The fact that it's all from the villain's point of view, and it's all like a vision for the villain. But other than that, I have nothing bad to say about this movie. I absolutely loved it. Only real downfall is that it didn't have Alice. So second place is going to be Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. And finally, in first place is going to be the original Twilight. I absolutely love this movie. No complaints whatsoever. This one, I had seen it before I watched all of them this time. But it had been like 10 years. So I didn't really remember much of it. I was probably 11 years old the last time I saw it. And I absolutely loved it. I find it so compelling because I normally don't get into vampire movies. Like, I normally tend to shy away from anything vampires, werewolves, really anything fantasy I tend to shy away from. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or what, but I'm starting to get into more of the dramas and more of the romance movies like this than the horror. But, yeah. I love this movie. I've always loved Alice. I've always loved James in this movie, which is the villain, the one that attacks her toward the end. I love Charlie. I think the first movie was his best performance of the franchise. And that's saying a lot because he's a really good character in this franchise. And really, this first movie kind of carried the rest of the franchise on its back. Like, none of them can compare to the first one. Like, this first one will probably be the one I rewatch all the time and just have it on replay day after day after day if I can. Until I lose interest, of course. But, yeah. Original Twilight, nothing could ever be better. At least not for this franchise. And I absolutely loved it. Alright, all in all, my ranking of these movies. The original Twilight, I'm giving 10 out of 10 every day. Twilight New Moon, I'm probably going to give a 2 out of 10 because I absolutely hated that one. Twilight Eclipse, I'll probably get a 4 out of 10. Breaking Dawn Part 1, I'll probably get a 6 out of 10. And Breaking Dawn Part 2 will get a 9 out of 10. And so that was my ranking of the Twilight Saga. If you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe. You know what? Here, I already did an unboxing for YouTube, but I'll do it. I mean, for TikTok, but I'll do it here too. I love these little art cards that they gave me. You got this one, and then you got Bella, and this one's got a back. It's like her human form and her vampire form. Edward, and his apparent human form, you know. And then there's Jacob and his apparent human form. And then this thing has all the movies on their own separate discs and a bonus, like a little, I think it's a documentary, I'm not sure, of all the movies. But, yeah, thanks for watching, you guys.